Hey, Ed DiMarco here, and this is your January 2024 real estate market update for Southwest Florida. And I do have some pretty shocking stuff here to go over today. I'm going to try to be a little more briefer than I normally am. But while this is the market snapshot for the Naples area, here's Lee County, pretty much the same. I want to get right to what I think everyone should be paying attention to, which is this. This is inventory, which right now is the main real estate indicator that I'm watching closely. And as you can see here, right before the COVID boom in Collier County, we're at 9.5, and Lee County 7 months. The inventory then plummets to under 1 month supply in both counties. And right now we're at 5.5 months in both Collier and Lee County. That's a pretty significant. In case it's hard to see the screen, this is 1 month, a little under in February 2022. And we're just seeing this inventory clearly continuing an upward trend with no sign of slowing down. So while you may see stuff like these list to sold price ratios of 97% there in Lee County, 99.5% here in Naples, pay very little attention to that because I hope you're sitting for this one. I just took this from the MLS a couple hours ago. This is the last 7 days in the Southwest Florida market from the Southwest Florida MLS. And we have just over 100 price increases, but we have nearly 1,700 price decreases. The last 7 days, about 1,400 new listings coming on the market. So more price decreases than new listings. Basically, what we're seeing is a lot of panic selling. And I think that's for good reason, because as the inventory every month just keeps rising and rising, we keep adding to that inventory. This very basic supply and demand economics, guys. Obviously, the only way that inventory is going to resolve is either there's some kind of miracle demand that comes out of, I couldn't imagine where. If you're thinking a couple basis points on the interest rates or even 1 or 2% on interest rates is going to solve this kind of momentum, I'm extremely skeptical. You can watch a whole video I did on that. And I think the bottom line is, look, if you're selling right now, I would sell right now. I would not keep deferring this. And if you are buying in this market, even though the trends in this market cause me a lot of concern for buyers right now, because if these trends continue, and what's going to have to follow is some pretty big price breaks. And while the prices are holding, and I'm here, I can show you where we're at price wise. So let me go ahead and pull up the medians for Collier and Lee County. Oh, I do want to quickly, before I get to the median prices, this is the volume. The teal is Collier, orange is Lee County. And while we're seeing that inventory surge, we're seeing the volume come down to, I don't know, where are we at? We're starting to get around and maybe even a little below pre-pandemic levels in terms of sales volume. So that combined with the inventory surge is creating a clear trend that is concerning to me as far as the next couple of years, even next year in the Naples market. I'll go ahead and switch now to those prices. Because of the sample size of these, I don't worry too much about, for me, these are flat markets right here. We can see some seasonal type stuff happening here where, here we are in April, where people who are March, April, May, where people who are getting contracts during the peak snowbird season here. The price is a little bit higher. And there was very low volume in December. So we did see a little bit of a spike in Naples prices. That doesn't actually mean any given property spike. It just means that a couple of outliers likely threw off that ratio at the high end, because we do have some insanely high end homes here in Naples. So what we're seeing is the prices are holding pretty flat while this inventory is surging. And I feel very confident we're going to see happen is those prices have to give as this inventory continues to mount. I've been watching these indicators from the actual MLS here that I screenshotted get worse and worse, where it was, geez, it seems like a month and a half ago, where it was maybe 200 price increases to 800 price decreases. Now we're seeing prices slash, and we are now in season. And still, we are seeing just in the last 7 days of what's normally prime season for Southwest Florida real estate, we're seeing prices get slashed, which is sellers starting to come to terms with reality that unfortunately the best time to sell was probably around last summer or so, based on most indicators. So let me get right into the forecasting here. I'm thinking over the next year, we're going to see this kind of continue. While I see a lot of nonsense, like this article from Florida Realtors, which I am a member of, their chief economist, I've been practicing since 2005. So I would watch all these knuckleheads in the Economist, in the National Association of Realtors and Florida associations, as the market just got more and more terrible, saying it's not that bad, and boy, is it about to get great. And so watch for them. This article, January 19th. Watch for the market to reignite over the next several months. I did read this whole article. It was terrible. There was very little logic for that conclusion. And remember, the problem is, and I'm just going to go on a little bit of a tangent more so than I already am. As I'm doing research and keeping tabs on what's going on in the industry, I'm seeing more and more articles come out about real estate agents having pep talks with their potential buyers, telling them how now is a really great time to buy and how you don't need to worry about all-time high unaffordability indexes. Really, while a lot of people, I think, put too much focus on interest rates, I think as an investor and most of the investors I know, and as well as most educated buyers and sellers of real estate, aren't so worried about those interest rates if homes aren't so overpriced. And for anyone that tells you that they don't think we're in a bubble, I want you to look at this chart from '08 where the market crashed. And here we are around mid 2010. And let's see here, I'll just go ahead and go with Naples. Naples is at 266,000. Here this month, Naples is at 643. That's not sustainable. There's no market correction. That we're way overdue for a market correction. And I've been making a point to do this. Let's just draw this out here. Think about what a bubble is. That's a bubble. And what I'm seeing with this inventory surging is that eventually we're going to see prices go. And here, I don't know if it's going to be prices like this or prices like this, but there's going to be some sort of correction. So what makes really great headlines is the world's going to end. This is going to make 2008 look like a boom year. Or, boy, let me tell you, interest rates are going to drop 1% and the market's just going to catch on fire and we're going to see all kinds of growth. But for me, the being too bullish on the market, saying that we're about to see a lot of growth, there's just no data, there's no trends supporting that. So that's why I don't take a strong position about what kind of correction we're due for, or whether or not prices may stay a little higher. Although being out in the field, I'm telling you, prices are going down. But it's very hard to say what kind of correction we're going to get. I want to go ahead and end by saying, if you're buying, first of all, with all that inventory coming on the market and sellers understanding that if they actually want to sell their property, that they need to be pretty reasonable with their price, make sure you're getting a real heck of a deal and make sure you're working with someone that knows what a real heck of a deal is and how to get one. And if you're a seller, I personally don't see this market improving. I see it getting worse and worse. And as every one of these new homes hits the inventory based on the lower pricing, based on all these price drops, based on the increased competition, and we're seeing that trend continue, I don't think it's going to get better for a while. I think if you're waiting for a better time to sell, you're probably going to be waiting at least a couple years. So that's my take for January. Hope this was helpful. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks.